Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today I get to build and review the DB5 Aston Martin 007 James Bond Lego set. This is from Creator. It is a 16 and up difficulty set. It's set number 10262. Lego did send this to us early to do a review. This is what it looks like from the front, and on the back you're not gonna be able to see the features. I'm just gonna switch to beauty shots, but there are a lot of interactive functions, which is great. Anyways, I'm gonna actually build this on camera for the first time in a long time on this channel. So I don't know how long this is gonna take, and I'm really looking forward to what we get on the other side. Look at that. Not bad, right? This is our manual. So this is what it looks like a little bit closer up. Well, we've got a few different things. It says, for your eyes only, the car you will be building is a replica of the Aston Martin DB5 with modifications. Pay attention, please. We require your undivided attention. Awesome. It shows all the different films that the DB5 appeared in: Thunderball, Tomorrow Never Dies, Skyfall, Goldfinger, GoldenEye, Casino Royale, Spectre. You can actually get some nice pictures there. And of course, the way this usually works, yeah, it comes in several different languages. Actually, not a ton of extra pages. It doesn't have like 50 pages in just a ton of different languages that all kind of repeat themselves. They keep it pretty concise. I like the manual. And now, let's get started. So I just finished the DB5, and it might be my single favorite Creator car to date, which is kind of a tall statement. I really do love the Creator car series, but not only does this hold up as a display model like most of these cars generally are treated, this car has as many interactive features as an average playset, maybe even more. There is much more to this model than meets the eye, and that's exactly what you would want coming from a Bond car. The build is strong and the play features are easy to use, durable, and have an extremely smooth action, so to speak. I'm gonna go through all of the basic functions of this car first, all the stuff that you would expect, and then work my way up to all the hidden features that you might know about if you're familiar with the James Bond movies. There's a lot of secret agent stuff here, but first let's pop the hood and see what is inside. Specifically, it's a 6-cylinder twin overhead camshaft with a 4-liter engine, at least according to the manual, but in my mind, that really just amounts to some fun looking detailing. The engine is built onto a couple of jumper pieces, which makes it easy to pull out, and then you can examine the exhaust manifold built with all of those pistol parts, which is not a new building technique, but it still is so fun to see engines built this way. If this design isn't broken, then don't fix it, as far as I say. But yeah, the inside has a lot of nice features, and when you pull the engine out, you can actually see one of the functions, kind of that crossbar running through the entire length of the body, or at least half the length of the body, but we'll get to what that does in just a sec. When you close the hood or actually reopen it again, you can see that there's that just a little bit of extra give with that other joint, that Technic joint right at the base, and that allows you to make the end point of the hood perfectly flush with the tile piece that's right next to the windscreen. Just little things like that make this build feel so solid. On the same kind of note, when you open up the doors, either car door, not only is the door held on by two of those little jointed plates, but it also has a Technic connection as well on the inside, and it just feels strong. In fact, if you're very careful, you can hold the entire weight of the car by just the open door. From a structural standpoint, I think most would agree that's a totally unnecessary function, but when you open and close the doors on the Aston Martin, it just feels solid, especially when you compare them to what came out from Creator before. Now, aside from the steering wheel also being able to turn back and forth, it doesn't turn the wheels. The last function of this car that remains normal or innocuous is the opening and closing of the trunk. The angle that we get for the trunk, oh, you know what, I should say boot. the boot door that opens up. It looks good on the outside, but once you see it open, it does kind of have a funny bit of building on the inside in order to achieve the angle that it gets. That I don't really care about, but here is pretty much the only ding that I can think of, the only thing that I kind of nitpick here. I understand why Lego does use the brighter colors on internal pieces in order for you to kind of find them as you're going through the build, but we could have used a, you know, Technic stud opening 1x1 brick in black, and I don't think anybody would have cared. It would have just looked slightly better inside. Not really much of a ding. And then the only other thing to see in this compartment are those two little telescope pieces. And because we've run out of all the normal functions in the car, let's move on over to the secret agent stuff, starting with these two little pieces here. If you take them out of the trunk and attach them to the back two tires, they become the tire shredding blades that you saw in Goldfinger. Normally they would just kind of shoot out of the tire as you're driving down the road in case you needed to get somebody off your back, but they are easy enough to attach to the DB5. And personally, this was my favorite weapon function on the car from any of the movie series, so I'm really glad they included it. Didn't really take a lot of extra effort, and it looks pretty solid. Now, sticking with the back of the car, the last function that you see here is the bullet screen, and it has a great little hidden activation. If you twist the exhaust counterclockwise, the bullet screen pops up in a pretty nifty little fashion. It slides up easily, and there's just enough friction for it to stay there as long as you like. But it's nice that it stays up even if you shake the vehicle around a little bit. It's not too loose of a feature. Now, technically, this is the last interactive feature from the back, and it also is in the front bumper. It's basically, you know, you just get to switch around the license plate. I think the most common of the numbers is the BMT216A license plate, and you can switch it around to a series of different numbers. I'm sure some of which are probably fun little things left over from maybe the creators. They have some little messages in there. And then you've got one that is, well, pretty conspicuous. This function works decently well. It's a little bit of a loose fit, but the plates themselves don't switch randomly. There is a little bit of a catch between each rotation. Now let's move to, well, there's a couple more secret functions in the interior, but let's just move on to my favorite function. This is by far the coolest function of the set, and probably one of the single most well-built interactive action functions from a set I have ever experienced, and this is what really blew me away once I completed it. The ejection seat is a two-part function, and it's incredibly well hidden. The silver bumper in the back can just get pulled out, and as you extend it backwards, the compartment on the top of the roof pops open and back, and as you pull the lever all the way back, there's a catch that sort of drops down on the inner mechanism of the car, and when you let go with that rubber band tension, it slingshots, or it really flips the seat straight out of the top. I can't describe to you just how fluid this action feels. The roof pops open in such a fun little way. You feel that kind of click as you pull the bumper back, and the seat shoots out with a pretty substantial force considering how this function works. It always generally falls back into the car, which I think makes sense. You probably do want to shoot this seat straight out, and I have a feeling you're probably ejecting when the car is moving at very high speed, so normally you wouldn't fall back in, but that's how it works for the set here. And the reset for this function is just as smooth as launching it in the first place. The seat slides along a little cross piece that sticks up through the top, and all you have to do is just ever so slightly nudge the roof forward, and it falls in perfectly in place, totally flush with the rest of the build. It's an incredibly clever design. Whoever thought of the two-part function that manages to reset itself automatically every time you use it, absolutely splendid. And then let's move into the internals of the car once again, and this time I'm going to show you all the secret compartments and not just open the doors. First things first, you've got a secret dash that basically is, it turns into your modern day GPS. I think you have the ability to maybe track people that you're spying on, and that's activated very easily with that little gear piece on the side. Then the second function that works pretty well, we've got the phone, that red phone that's used to call base. This is the added plus of having a two-stud wide door. The compartment slides open very easily. There's a lot of space. You could fit more than just a phone in there. And then the last function, definitely the best one in terms of, well, any of the internal functions. That red lever in the middle absolutely serves a purpose, and when you pull it all the way back, the secondary low beam headlights in the front flip open to reveal the two Browning 30 caliber machine guns hidden behind each of the front indicators. That was that red cross piece that you saw under the hood earlier, and this action is very smooth because you can really line up the perfect 90-degree angle, whether it's the indicators or the machine guns. They're not rotating at a slightly off degree, so the front feels a little bit bit kinked there. It really is totally flush, and there is just something so satisfying about activating a mechanism inside the car to have an external piece of it more. It looks good, it works well, and really it was the functions of this set that absolutely won me over. Externally, it looks great. The curves for this vehicle all feel very satisfying. There were very little stickers being used, and there were even some new pieces molded and colors turning out in new colors for the first time in this set. Probably one of the best bits of detailing is this 2x4 tile that's been done in the metallic silver. Those rims that attach to the wheels are a new piece, I believe, and even that main curve that goes along either side of the DB5 has a new part in there as well. Like all sets that I particularly enjoy, I could go on and on and on about it if I really want, but all in all, what I think I've talked about really is the bread and butter of everything that you get. Now, like I said in the beginning of the review, I think this is going to be my favorite all-time LEGO Creator car set, and that's the simple fact that once I've got all of them together, and let's say I'm showing off these cars to friends or family or whoever's coming in to visit the studio, chances are I'm going to be going for this car 9 times out of 10 when we get to all the Creator cars, just because it's going to be the most fun to show all the features off compared to the rest. This here is just a wonderful example of a really well put together display model, incredibly sturdy, and it's got a wide variety of interactive, fun, hidden features that are fun to play around with, easy to use, and also easy to reset once you've activated. Anyways, all of that is my opinion, and I would like to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, that is it for the DB5 review, guys. Really like this set. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you do, feel free to like or subscribe, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault. Hey, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. If you enjoy our content and want to help support the channel, you should consider heading on down to our web store, BrickVault.toys. We've added a lot of really amazing custom mocks, and every single purchase helps support us as well as the designers that we work with. So we're going to be updating our web store regularly. Make sure to keep checking on back. And thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time at BrickVault.